Welcome, all of you, they said. Okay, I have a number of guides that are standing here. They've been working with me all day today, and they are bringing forward some information too. Okay, thank you. So we're going to be talking about the higher consciousness, how to connect to that higher self, how to bring that connection forward. Okay, thank you. I'll give them some information. Okay, thank you. So bear with me as they'll be giving me the information. I'll be channeling you some information. I've already done some automatic writing. If you listen to this recording, okay, this information, there might be something in it that will come in for you and you go, oh, now I understand. And because they're sort of saying there's going to be some ha-ha moments for some people. Okay, wherever you are in the world. Okay, thank you. And speaking fast, so I need to keep up. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's have a little look. Okay, higher self. Higher self is much about the inner wisdom, the higher internal guidance. Okay, thank you. The divine guidance of your higher self, your soul. Okay, thank you. Please tell them. Okay, I will. So if we look at every human being that we have on the planet, you have your vehicle vessel as the human, and you are being in the moment. You are interacting with your world around you, having your experiences, and you have your five senses that you have, and even more. I'm even more, you even more. Okay, so you have your sight, your hearing, your taste, and blah, blah, blah. You know the rest of it, they said. Some of you are quite tired of hearing the rest of it. But you have your senses. You're experiencing the world around you. So that is there, you being the human, and you are being in the moment. Now, if we look at the higher self is connected to, of course, if you think of, now we need you to think about this. If you think of it is the anchor, so you are the ship, you are the vessel, it is your anchor and the chain and the links to it. But you have to think about it the other way around. So it's not going down, it's going up. So imagine the anchor to yourself, your higher self. Your higher self is connected to your soul. Your soul pops into your human being and is part of you on this journey. And your soul needs guidance. So when you come to planet Earth, before you come to planet Earth, let's go back, before you go to planet Earth, you are aware of your mission, you are aware of why you are here, you are aware of the journey you must travel on, you know that you are on this recycle mode and there is some lessons or some journeys that you need to go on and you need to travel on and you go through and you go through and you go through. So when you pop down onto your planet Earth, if you think of the human process of you being delivered, it's almost like the amnesia that occurs during the trip through the birth canal and as you come forward. Okay, yes, we know we're here. Somebody might say, well, if you have a cesarean, it's the same thing. You have like amnesia and then your senses kick in and then you become aware of the physical pain and the reality of the world that you're in through your senses. You become aware of who you are on the earth at that time. How, you might ask? Well, because of the senses, also the feelings around the parents that you'll have, your parentage, that they will be with you at your present as your at your birth. Your mother also will always be present at your birth. We laugh because, of course, you do not end up just being plopped out on the earth, that you come through. You are here. So depending on the journey of the parentage, your parents, what is going on for them at any particular time, you're also going to be aware of the role that you will play. You come in with a sense of your higher self. You have that to some degree, but the way that you are treated, the way that the personality of your parents, the atmosphere you're born into, the environment which you're born into already begins to, in a way, dissolve or separates yourself to some degree from your higher self. We will explain. If you think of how your brain is put together, if you look at how your brain is in the three sections, you've got to look at that part of that brain that does not come online, cannot make its own decisions up until arguably 6 or 7 years old. So you have this brain like a sponge and you are receiving all the information. Now, when you receive all the information that is coming forward, it's being transmitted, translated through the parentage, through those caregivers who are collectively around you. And depending on where they are on their journey, depends on how that you will be treated, how you will receive the information. Now, this is where we then start having the ego coming in from quite an early age, where you then become aware of there are guilty feelings, selfishness, there is the fear, and this then takes over the human soul in a sense. It becomes priority and it keeps you small because you are fearful of doing things because parents, we were going to say God bless them, but maybe not the correct word, but they go into protection mode to protect the young child. But then this can also create fear. Now, if you look at children as they play, they enjoy themselves, they have great fun, they learn through creativity. But still, you have some parents that hover over their children and may insist that they must step back because they may get hurt. Now, then you start harboring all the feelings of fear, selfishness, guilt, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Now, when you do this, you then create this like a fog, or sort of a dissolve or disconnection from your higher self to some degree. It's not a clear channel to your higher self. Now, we explain. The higher self is here to help to navigate you through your life. Your higher self is part of your soul. Your higher self is part of the whole consciousness of the cosmos and the divine as one. And it will send you information to guide you on your journey. It works with your intuition. It guides you. Now, when you are childlike and you are the child, if you and not one child is born into an entirely happy family, but when you are a child, you are playing and learning through creativity. When you get to a certain stage in your development, it's almost drummed out of you to stop playing and to stop being creative. Now, the creative side of you is helping you to collect, connect to your higher self. It's through creativity that raises your vibration, that helps you to connect to your higher self. And your higher self is part of the intuition that guides you on your journey. To see like a signpost of messages to guide you in which direction to travel on. It would be to ask yourself the questions if you need to learn or to know what direction or your life purpose is. If once that is feels a bit disconnected, it becomes more difficult knowing which direction or what is your purpose in your life and which direction to head in. So there is this mind fog that comes in as the human being. There's this disconnection to some degree, and it's a lot to do with how you process your world, become bombarded with information through the human experience, the psychology, the learned beliefs, limited beliefs. It sort of disconnects you to some degree. But we will say that through chaos and maybe a crisis that occurs will awaken some of you to some degree. Some of you go in the loop and woe is me, poor me, why is this happening to me? Many of you must learn to look at the situation to see, what is this showing me? What is this teaching me? But we understand, because of your human senses, your personalities, how you're feeling, how you're processing the experience. Of course, all your senses come into play and reduces your high frequency, reduces lower and density, and becomes harder to connect to your higher self. So your higher self is really about navigating you through life and can be connected through a higher frequency. And then we hear, some of you might ask, then when we are going through troubled times, how may I see that part of myself? How can I connect to this? Some of you will have doubts about this, as in you see yourself in the mirror, you feel this is who you are, this is all there is to life. But no, there is so much more. It is more about seeing and you believing and you shall see. The human tends to want to see the evidence, but does not want to see the work as such. Some humans struggle, but this is from your human experience of what you have been taught from those caregivers that have brought you up on this journey of your soul. Now, with the intuition, which is connected and guided through your higher self, it gives you the direction and helps prod you and pokes you and say, yes, you're doing the right thing. It's this way. This is the direction you need to go on. Your higher self has seen not necessarily linear, as you said, the past, the present, the future. It knows your journey of your soul. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. They're showing me now that the Akashic records, and they're showing me the conversation that your high self and your soul and your high self has been sent here to offer you the guidance on your journey where you travel on. And it's almost as if it's like, okay, thank you. You like almost like the horseman stepping off the horse. It's like you then think that you're alone and that you cannot do this on your own, and you feel quite separated. But what they're saying is, okay, thank you. It's about looking at connecting yourself again. Once again, they said, okay, thank you. Know thyself, they said. Know thyself. Okay. So the families you are and the caregivers you are brought into, you tend to have the family's beliefs, and you tend to doubt your own ability because what you have been told from your schooling, from your daily life, your societies, the culture, everything that you are born into, they can create those boundaries. And then that, in a way, sort of makes you detached from that higher self. But the higher self can be connected again. It's not that it's disconnected, but it's harder to hear your higher self. So we suggest it's more about becoming more aware of who you are. And some of you may have been brought up with the sense of, but this is selfishness. But we would say that it's not selfishness. It's that it is your guidance. It's now to take care and hold on to the steering wheel and to drive to the destiny of where you are on this journey, on this pathway. So through chaos and sometimes crisis, it brings us to that point that where you look at yourself and you feel that you are at breaking point, that some of you then reach out for guidance and some for help. It's almost like you stop that snowball running down the mountain, that you say, stop, this is time I need to look inwards to understand my journey, who I am, where I'm at. So there has to be those experiences that the human travels down and through. You have to travel through this. Your soul decided to come here at any given time to encounter the experiences that you are encountering. It's very important for your soul growth. It's for your soul to level up, to travel on that journey of this development of oneself. So we will give you some information, some tips that may help yourself. Many of your wise folk sit in meditation, and many of the monks that you have on your planet and the religious people that you have on your planet will sit in meditation for many, many hours. Now, you are humans, and many of you do not have the time to sit for hours. You are living your life. Not everyone will be able to do this to some degree, as in to sit for hours. We are not requiring that process. We are saying that you can find this in any given moment of the day. So there are some tips here we would suggest. Know thyself. Begin that process of understanding of who you are right now. So we would suggest that when you look in the mirror, it's a good exercise to do this. You look in the mirror and you look at yourself. You be honest with yourself and to see what it is that you have a reflection back of yourself and where you are on your journey at this given time. When you are looking at yourself in the mirror at this given time, be brutally honest. Have a look and how you feel, where you have come from on your journey of your life. Now, do not have to spend too long on this, because the human mind then starts dropping down and goes into those experiences that haven't been very helpful. And then we want you to turn it around and to look at yourself and to see what you are happy with, what you have gained from your knowledge so far on this planet. Some of you will look and see it, some of you will struggle with it. So some of you to look at and to say what you are happy with in your life at this moment. Some of you have animals that are listening to this, and it may be the animals lift up your frequency, and the animals, how they see you, they help you with your energy. And this may be something that you become aware of, is that your animal being presented to you in this lifetime is here to assist you. They are like your guides too. They have stepped in for a reason, many of them. So it would be to take note of what you are grateful for, as in your experiences, what you have learned, and what they have shown you, as what have they taught you about your journey of your soul so far. And then you could write it in a journal or on these sticky note things on the mirror to remind yourself. They are really reflective, as we will say. And so it makes you aware of who you are, where you are on your journey. We wish for you, many of you, to practice more that time for yourselves. Many of you get caught up in your world. You are busy, you are running about, you have many thoughts in your minds. We can hear them, they're here, we hear them. And many of you reach out to have more of an understanding. Many of you who are listening to this ask for your guide's guidance, but many of you do not listen or do not feel that you are receiving the information. Through the intuition, you're being guided by your guides. They are trying to give you messages. It's for you to be aware of them. Now, we are aware that some of you who listen to this have been aware of some of the messages, seeing the double digits, triple digits, or feathers. And then you Google and you look to find out what could that particular message be. No, how about Googling your guides and asking them instead? Asking them, what was it that you were just thinking about, or what was the answer you needed to have? And then being aware of the sign that you receive. This would be also on registration car plates. This is on clocks. This is also through music. We enjoy working through music because it's a higher frequency. It lifts up your energy. So this is another good tip to connect to your higher self, would be to listen to high frequency, find your tunes, create your playlist, so that you can then connect easier to your guides, to your higher self, because your energy is rising. We would suggest you be more creative. So if this is through art or for writing or meeting with very like-minded friends, not those who moan, we would say no, because it brings your energy down. You do not need to moan. The humans, they sometimes like to moan, and they join together. And when they join together, it's like a hobby, something that you do in your time, and this is not beneficial. So it's more beneficial to meet the high frequency friends who are traveling on their journey too. Now, you may say, what if we do not have these high frequency friends who are becoming more aware of their energy? Then get some new friends, because there are plenty more humans on the planet. There are trillions of you on this planet, trillions, billions, and forevermore. So it would be to be grateful of your journey, where you are from, your experiences you're experiencing, to feel into the moments by being mindful. If there is that ice cream that you are licking, it is to be with the ice cream. Some of you do not lick and taste the flavor. Some of you have your mind going elsewhere about what you should be doing, or thinking about somebody, or what bill you should be paying, or when you got to rush to go somewhere. We see many of you, when you eat your food, you do not taste your food. You are always rushing to move on. And so we wish for you to be more mindful. If you think of your distractions now on your planet, there are many of you that are on your phone and do not connect with eye contact. So these little simple tips will be to bring you back to yourself, so you begin to know how you feel. Now, also, you can use with your intuition. So when you become more aware of what's going on in your environment and who you are, you become more aware of how your intuition will begin to help you. Your intuition is messages that will be sent through your higher self. Your higher self is going, no, go this way, because it's more beneficial for you. You can use your intuition when you go into your supermarkets or your grocery stores and feel into the packets of food or the fresh food, and how will my body respond to this? Is my body happy with this? This is a process to build up and build upon, and you will feel into your body. Some of you will be surprised at this, but your body will answer. Your gut feelings will kick in. You'll become aware of the knowledge that your body will say, no, I do not want this. It's about that toxicity that some of you place into your body, and some of you are eating the sweet stuff to compensate for the sadness that you feel. Surely it is to uncover the sadness that you feel, rather than continuing to eat that sugar or that biscuit or whatever it is that then makes you sadder afterwards because you are concerned that you have put that weight on. We still struggle to understand you humans. Sometimes you beat your self over your head, keep constantly doing the same thing that you don't want to do. We do not understand that process at all. So there are techniques to connect to thyself, know thyself better. When you start to become aware of the music you like, the food that's good for you, the music that's good for you, the people, the environment, the location, you become more aware of your intuition, your guidance from your higher self. You then get more of a direction. You begin to align more with your energy of where you are internally within yourself. You become more of your authentic self. Now, this is a good thing, because becoming more aware of your authentic self means you are going to attract like for like, meaning the energy that you send out into your environment, into your atmosphere, into your unified field around you, you are going to attract like for like. So can you see where we're going through this? If you are out of alignment, you will experience those things that happen to you in your life. Now, then you have to still experience some of these things, but the more that you are in tune with yourself, you have an understanding. And when something happens, you then can sit with it and say, this is a lesson. This has taught me much. I need to look at what is it showing me? What has it taught me? And then that's when you are in alignment, because you understand that this is something that you need to learn, something you need to grow, something you need to go forward with. So when you are more aligned with yourself, your authentic self, not pleasing others, but pleasing yourself. And we know there is like an alert going out, as in, people would think this is being selfish. This is not, because the more that you are authentic to yourself, you are then showing others how they should be more authentic to themselves, how they should put themselves first as well. And so then you raise your frequency on your planet, and then you start matching up, and then you travel from 3D dimension to the 4th, to the 5th, to the 6th dimension. Your energy is changing. So each and every one of you that focuses more on connecting to your higher self, you'll begin to hear that information. Now, some of you will hear the information and you'd be able to sit with it, ask a question and ask for guidance. You may hear the higher self. You may see those messages. You may feel or have a knowing. It's very different for everyone. But when you are knowing thyself better, you will understand the process much better. Then this will help you to move forward to where you are meant to be on your mission of your life, like that internal navigation system. It will move you into the direction. It will help you to align with those people that are very similar to yourself. And then through your higher self connection, makes life a little bit more easier for each and every one of you. Yes, we know we make it feel so simple, but we understand there are some questions. Okay. I'm going to have a look at what I wrote just to make sure when I sat with them earlier that I'm covering everything they wanted me to put out. Okay, so I'm going to read off what I wrote when I channeled earlier. It says, inner guidance, inner wisdom, the divine self, part of the cosmic consciousness. And I'm going to do a little exercise in a moment with you. It's the knowledge, the internal knowledge that you were sent forth with on your planet, your soul, and sometimes it gets lost on the journey because of the human experience that you're experiencing. It's all about those individuals around you that come in, and then you start having those self-limiting beliefs, the interactions you have with everybody. Okay, thank you. And they also just said about sometimes we try to fit in so much with everybody that we feel that we might be judged, so we have to do something in a certain way. So then that can actually squash some of that higher self. You don't tend to listen to it. You tend to do something that you feel that you don't want to be judged. You want to fit in with a certain group of people, or if you're working for an organization, and that way you're not really truly aligning with yourself. You're actually just fitting into something. Okay, let's have a look. It says your higher self, your soul drive knows your future journey through raising of your consciousness, knowing who you truly are. Higher self comes from a place of guilt-free. So if you are having those internal, if you're hearing internal information, you're like, is that my higher self communicating with me? Is that guide communicating with me? Or is this my self-conscious, subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind is normally with the ego. It's normally about protection mode. It's normally about guilt. It's normally about fear, because it wants to protect you. Your self-conscious is a part of protecting you from whatever might happen. So it might stop you from, say, asking that person out, or going for that job interview because of, you're worried that you're going to feel embarrassed, you don't know the actual the work, or you feel like you're being judged. There's that is not your higher self. Your higher self always wants the best for you, and your higher self knows where you're going. It knows your journey, is part of, it knows your destiny, is being the Akashic records, part of your scrolls, part of where you're going. I love that. Okay, thank you. Raising your higher self, you're connecting, raising your frequency through music, food, having a fun time, connecting to like-minded people. It's not about being selfish, it's about doing what's best for you. This is what they sort of said. Ego can keep you small and safe, and that is not why your soul's here. That's the human experience, but your soul's not here for that. Your soul's here to have fun, to enjoy, to raise itself higher, so it keeps going and going and going. Knowing what is your feelings, not being told by others. Okay, higher self signs that you're okay. So how do you find out if you are really connected to your higher self? Is that when you feel you're in the flow. So it's literally when you have those thoughts or feelings that you want to do something comes into mind and it starts unfolding in front of you. That's when you're becoming more in tune with your intuition and you're listening to your higher self. Life starts to flow. So if something happens, a crisis, you see it for what it is. You see it as you step back and aware and you're reflective upon it. You take time out and you go, oh, okay, this is something that's teaching me something. It's showing me something. What is it that I need to be aware of? So just making you aware of that. So it's not like to punish you. It's not about punishment. And I know some of you are, some people today from some of my clients feel like that it's like being punished or the same thing keeps coming up and coming up again. And it's really about looking at what is it that you didn't see the first time? There's still something come up, needs to learn from it. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, it's part of your spiritual self. It's not part of your physical self. It's part of your spiritual self. Okay, being mindful of your thoughts. That's another thing as well. Be very mindful of where you allow your thoughts to travel down. That's really important. Okay, thank you. They also said, and they like this one, they said, your higher self is almost like taking yourself out on a date. So it's like, if you were meeting someone for the first time or you're going out with somebody new, how much care and attention you would pay to them is very similar about how much care and attention do you pay to your higher self. And you have to learn to communicate with that. And it's the same as your guides. Communication, building up that relationship with your higher self, checking in. What is it that I really want to do? And it's about what is it I really want to do? I know I might have to do the washing, but what is it I really want to do? Well, I really want to go for a walk by the river. So go and do that walk by the river. There's always going to be washing up. There's always going to be jobs and chores to do, but it's about what is it that you need at any given time. Okay, thank you. Okay, they said, by connecting to your higher self, then when there is a problem, you do not fear it. Thank you. They just said that you do not fear it, that you continue on your journey, knowing that it's something that you need to learn from it. So, okay, thank you. They said to me earlier when I was writing, what I tend to do is when I go to sleep at night, I'm grateful for certain things during the day. So before I go to bed, I always look at what am I grateful for? And it might be something very small. When I had my accident 20-something years ago, I was unable to walk. I nearly had my leg amputated. So I remember when I was resting on the sofa, I saw a squirrel outside and I couldn't stop laughing because the squirrel turned upside down, got the nuts and then fell on the floor. I shouldn't really laugh at the squirrel falling on the floor, but it was like those little things. So I couldn't find hope in the day, in the sense that, you know, my foot was in plaster, I was in so much pain, but what I did is I looked for the things that made me laugh during the day, and I went into that moment and I was grateful. So I went to 5 things before I go to sleep. I do it still today. What am I grateful for? And it might be, I'm grateful for the fact that I can breathe. You know, there's moments I've had a chest infection recently and I struggled, so I'm like grateful that I can breathe. Whatever it is, that's yours, what you're grateful for. I do the 5 things before I go to bed. And if I want to know an answer to a question, I then put it in my mind and I say, what do I want to know the answer to a question? So that I go into my dream work and I ask my guides, can you show me the answer to this question? And allow my guides to work with me, because the brain waves are where they're at when you're sleeping. It makes it easier to connect to your guides and your team. Okay, thank you. The other night I was saying that well, it was 3:37. I was woken up during the night or during the morning, and I said that, why are you guys waking me up and giving me all this transmission now? And they said, because you didn't make time for it today. So the most important thing is to make time to be with yourself. That's one of the things I've really learned, to give time to myself. So what they're saying is, find that time in your day, the power of you. Go to that space. Now, we're just going to try this tiny little technique. It won't last long, a couple of minutes, because I want you just to sit with this for a moment. So there's a live audience here, and those who are listening back to it later on, have a go at this. So just closing your eyes for a moment. Excellent. And just being aware of your breath. Just being aware of your breath. That's it. Lovely. Just being aware of your space around you. And it's almost like hearing your ears, allowing your ears to hear what's going on around you externally, and then bringing your ears in and like sort of closing them off to the outside world and bringing yourself internally within. And being aware of that breath as it moves in and out of your body, all the way in, all the way out. Really connecting your feet to the floor, the ground, wherever you are. And being in that space. Know it's a safe, supported space. And just being aware of that breath, your physical self. You are aware of your physical body that's sitting there. And just to allow everything, any aches, any pains, anything, just to disperse. You're sending it down through your feet, all the way down into the earth. And just allow the earth to nourish you. Just send it down. Good. And just be in that space. And as you're gently aware of your own space, I want you to feel into your heart area. Just be aware of your heart and your lungs as they're working, as you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And just knowing as you breathe in and you breathe out, you start to begin that process of expanding yourself. So you have an energy field around you and just allowing yourself to expand. Every time you breathe in, back into your body, breathing out and allowing that expansion of yourself, pushing it out further and further each time. Go the arm's length of your body as you expand further out. And this time as you breathe in, don't bring in your energy field, just leave it there, extend it out like that bubble around you. Maybe some of you might want to see that glistening bubble of energy around you, shining, sparkling, rainbowy effect, just feeling into the energy, just so you expanding and expand it further out. Expand it out further from the room, the space that you're in. Keep going, keep breathing. Every time you breathe in, you breathe out. You might want to hear some music in your head or your mind, or almost imagine there's music, there's tunes that allow it to extend further out, whatever works for you. It might be a beautiful color now, purple, greens, pinks, blues, white, golden, just expanding that energy out, allowing that rib cage to fully extend. And as you connect now further out from yourself, you begin that process of connecting to the universe and the divine light, the energy of the universe. You start allowing yourself to become one, being aware of the trees that blow in the breeze, being aware of the rivers, the seas, the ocean. And you begin aware of your space, just where you're at, allowing your energy to extend fully out, connecting, as if you're all connecting to each other, being in that space, allowing yourself to expand further and further out, allowing it in the love and the light of the universe, out to the galaxies and beyond. Just being in that space just a moment, pushing it out. However you see it or feel it or hear it, just go with it. Just pushing it out. Any resistance, just again, come back. Just push, 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 push. And allowing your higher self to connect. Allowing that to strengthen. Allowing yourself to start to see that process of who you are and where you're meant to be on your journey of life. Connecting to the universe. Just breathing in and breathing out. Being connected, good. And as you become aware that you become one with the universe and how you connect to each other and how you hear, you see, you feel everything that you need in your life, you become aware of how you begin that process of change, how you begin to become aware that you are one with the universe, just allowing your energy to open further. Good. Breathe in everything that you need. All the knowledge, all the wisdom that is held there for you. Good. And as you gently begin that process of coming back to yourself, bringing that bubble of light of energy, your ribs coming back in, your heart being tucked away inside your rib cage, and just allowing yourself to come back to yourself. Gently, gently, gently coming back into your body, connecting with yourself. Being aware of your feet, being aware of your physical form, being aware of your body, and allowing yourself to breathe naturally now for yourself. Having that inner guidance of knowing where you are on your journey. And in that state, you can always ask for that guidance. And as I count to 3, you begin that process of coming back into your space. 1. Being aware of your physical form, being aware of your breath. 2, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, connecting back your nerve endings. And 3, when you're ready, begin that process of opening your eyes and coming back into yourself. This process will help you, so when you do go off and extend fully your energy, that is the time that you can ask for guidance more. You connect to yourself. You look at what it is that you need at any given time. So that energy exercise is just for you. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording here and I'm going to check in with my live audience. And if you wish ever to join me, for those who listen to this on record, always join me at Odyssey, the platform, where I can give you the information where it's channeled. So I look forward to meeting some of you there on the platform.